with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And we greet you with Ramadan Kareem. Our subject is a Muslim response to genocide in the Holy Land, in Palestine. And we begin by warning that this is not the end. There is more to come. We begin by warning that there is oppression in many parts of the world today. There has been enormous oppression in this country, South Africa, and in Palestine, in Kashmir. And before this, there was oppression elsewhere in the world. The Ottoman Empire, despite whatever good things it did, was an oppressor of the Orthodox Christian people. The United States of America committed ethnic cleansing, oppression of the American Indian people. It happened in North America, it happened in South America. There was oppression in Australia, in New Zealand. Wherever modern Western civilization went, they oppressed the people. But there is a difference between oppression elsewhere and oppression in the Holy Land or Palestine. And when we turn to the Quran to understand and to explain history, events unfolding in history, particularly in the end time, we know that this oppression in the Holy Land is an oppression which is going to last until the end time. It's not going to stop now. That this oppression is one that is unique in all history, different from all others, and that history will not end until this oppression ends. And this oppression will not end until the Messiah returns. The Messiah is Nabi Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, the son of Mary. When will he come back? How do we know that he will come back? What does the Quran say about the return of Jesus? We cannot deal with that subject today, but I wrote a book entitled The Messiah, the Quran and Akhirulzaman. Unfortunately, it's not outside because they were careless when packing the books in Malaysia to send them to South Africa, and they left out that book. So now then, this oppression is going to continue until the end time, until Nabi Isa returns. What, therefore, is happening now? Answer. Our subject is a Muslim response to genocide in Palestine. And we ask at the beginning, what is genocide? And I ask of you to kindly listen carefully to the definition of genocide. It will be very pleasing to me if the recording of this lecture can be sent to me without delay. I have got none, not even one in 1 month in Lodi. I'm not one. Not one recording did I get. So if this recording can be sent to me without this delay, so I can put it on the internet, so others can benefit from the talk I'm giving here today, I'd be grateful for that help. What is genocide? Answer. Genocide is the extermination, killing, destroying, extermination of one people by another people in such a way that the responsibility for the extermination is not individual but collective. So when we use the term genocide, it means that an entire people are blamed for genocide. That is genocide. Other than that, if it's a small group that is doing the killing, you could call it a massacre, but you will not use the term genocide. But we have sheep and cattle and goats and camels in the world of Islam today who do not care for truth. They simply want to blame a people so that they can continue their nasty hostility and hatred for that people. So they want to say that is genocide. So now we must ask, is it genocide in Gaza? Is it an entire people who are supporting the killing and the extermination of the Palestinian people? And the answer now, we have sufficient time has passed, that yes, while there are people belonging to that group who object to what is happening and who denounce it, as for example last year, in many campuses of universities in the United States of America, there were Jewish students who were protesting what is happening in Gaza. Yes, and we accept and acknowledge that. But our conclusion, sorrowfully and sadly so, is that this is a very, very small voice and does not affect the collective responsibility for what has been taking place in Gaza. And so today, from Masjid al-Haq, we have no hesitation in confirming that yes, there is genocide in Gaza, and the International Criminal Court was correct in declaring it to be genocide. I think that's what they did. And this was as a result of the courage of South Africa. South Africa took Israel to the International Criminal Court and got them to declare that this was genocide. And that case is still going on in the International Criminal Court. And we warned you in the last lecture I gave in this masjid that they're going to come after you now, as they did with Haiti. You must study history to know what happened in Haiti. And they've just did it now. They declared the South African ambassador to the United States is persona non grata, means he's expelled from the United States, which is a tremendously embarrassing thing for an ambassador and for a foreign ministry and a country. But that's not the end, that's the beginning. They're going to come after you again and again because this country has embarrassed them. So yes, it was genocide in Palestine. And it was genocide in the United States of America. Genocide of the American Indian people. And it's still continuing because now with Trump, the rich will rule not only the United States, the rich will rule the world. So there is no such thing as an independent country. No. We are the rulers of the world, and all of mankind, including the government of South Africa, must bend in submission to us. That is the tomorrow that is coming. And there was therefore genocide in so many parts of the world. But we ask, was there genocide in Srebrenica in Bosnia in the 1990s? That is the question. And before schoolboys jump to answer, tell the schoolboys, wait a while. Wait a while before you make a fool of yourself and live to regret it on Judgment Day. The plan in Srebrenica was hatched, was conceived by the enemy of Islam and enemy of the Orthodox Christian world. And they wanted a massacre to take place in Srebrenica and then put the blame on the entire Christian people. Collective responsibility. And for that, they needed the word genocide. They needed the word genocide. They would sell their mother to get the word genocide because of the hatred and the enmity, everlasting hatred in their hearts for the Christian people. So they wanted the word genocide. And they went to the Security Council of the United Nations, and Britain, of course, leading the pack, to get the Security Council to declare it was genocide, but no, it was vetoed. On Judgment Day, we'll know that it was our enemies who planned and who financed and who caused that massacre of 7,000 to 8,000 Muslims to take place in Srebrenica, in order to put the blame on the entire Christian Serb people, in order to sabotage any possibility of friendship and reconciliation between Muslims and Christians. And because I have refused to fall into that trap and declare it to be genocide, because I have met so many Christians in Belgrade, twice I went, and who have condemned what happened in Srebrenica. Condemn it. The perpetrators should be found and punished. That cannot be called genocide. Now then, how do we respond to genocide in Palestine? Answer. The Quran asks us to fight. Permission is granted to you. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Surah Al-Hajj of the Quran. أذن للذين يقاتلون بأنهم ظلموا وإن الله على نصرهم لقدير. Allah is giving you permission to fight, to resist this oppression, this genocide. But what has happened in Gaza? Have we been able to launch jihad? A jihad is waged by an army. An army must have a commander-in-chief. Jihad is not waged by a bunch of schoolboys. Do we have an army? Do we have a commander? Do we have a government? Do we have an Amir al-Mu'mineen to wage jihad? No. All the Arab governments around Israel, all of them, are in a state of submission to Israel. And when there was a government that was resisting Israel, correct me if I'm wrong, like Libya, what did they do? Regime change. And they worked their magic and they destroyed the Libyan government. And now Libya is in shambles. And they are celebrating while the schoolboys that we have as Muslims cannot understand the plan of the enemy. So Libya is no longer resisting Israel. And Syria under Assad was resisting Israel. If I'm wrong, come and correct me. Yes, Syria under Assad, despite other oppression that government was perpetrating, but Syria under Assad was resisting Israel. While Saudi Arabia, the American kingdom of Saudi Arabia that is financing so many masajid and so many ulama in South America, in South Africa. Saudi Arabia today, I used to say 25 years ago, Saudi Arabia was a sister of Israel. I was wrong. 25 years ago, Saudi Arabia was just a cousin. Now Saudi Arabia is a sister of Israel. So now Israel has submitted, caused Syria to be in shambles. Syria has no capacity now to resist Israel. So where will the army come from? How will you wage jihad? How will you wage jihad against Israel to liberate Palestine, to respond to the genocide, when all your governments are in submission to Israel? Answer: you cannot respond to genocide in Israel, in Gaza, with jihad. Not possible. Why? I explained in my last lecture here, from the Quran I did it, that Gog and Magog are those who control power, not only in the modern West, in Washington, but also in Israel. And so now the only response left is a political response. And how do we respond politically? Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Anfal, Al-Kafiruna awliya'u ba'duhum biba'd illam taf'alu takun fitnatun fil ardi wa fasadun kabir. Your enemies make alliances with each other. Your enemy, the kuffar, they make alliances with each other. If you do not do the same, Allah is saying, if you do not do the same, then there will be fasad all over the world and great fitna. So with whom should we make alliance in order to resist politically the genocide in Palestine? Well, the Quran must tell us. When we go to the Quran, we find in Surah Rum, that Rome is Constantinople. That Rome is not the Christians of the West, where a man can marry another man and get a marriage certificate. No. Rome is the Orthodox Christian world that is now led by Russia. That is Rome. But Rome at that time was led by Constantinople. And even though, listen carefully, even though Rome accepted the Trinity and worshipped Jesus as the Son of God, yet Allah helped Rome. If I'm wrong, correct me. Allah helped Rome, and Rome defeated Persia. And when Rome defeated Persia, Allah says in Surah Rum, وَيَوْمَئِذٍ يَفْرَحُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Not only did the believers, the Muslims, celebrate that victory, but also Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. And Allah says in the Quran about these Christians that you will find وَلَتَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى. This is Surah Al-Ma'idah. That there will be a Christian people, a people who will declare, we are Christians. Their primary loyalty is not to the state, not the nationality. Their primary loyalty is to their faith. And these will be the people who will be closest in love and affection for you. This is Surah Al-Ma'idah. But who has time in Lodium today to devote to the Quran, to seek knowledge from the Quran, and that your primary loyalty must be truth in the Quran? Tell me, where are they? And so therefore, if we are to respond politically to genocide in Palestine, it is while building friendship and alliance with Rome. And Rome today, my book, which is just published in Malaysia, it has not reached South Africa as yet, the Quran and Russia's destiny. In that book, I have argued the case that Rome today is no longer Constantinople because the Ottoman Empire, in violation of Allah's commands in the Quran, conquered Constantinople in 1453. And that Ottoman Empire took control of Constantinople. My time is up. Rome today is Moscow. And so this country is doing the right thing in building friendly ties with Russia. It's time for Pakistan to do the same. It's time for Saudi Arabia to do the same. And we, the Muslims, must do the same now. Don't worry about those who are being paid their salaries by Saudi Arabia and who seek to sabotage what we're doing. Don't worry with them. You must reach out to the Orthodox Christian world to build friendship and alliance in order to resist the genocide in Palestine. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.